Welcome back. I'm David Rice. I'm the founder of Ignite DDS, and I'm here, as always, with my partner in crime, Kevin Henry. What's shaking, buddy?
Hey, Bryce. It's all good here in Colorado, my friend. Hope it is in Florida as well.
It's not too shabby. We're on the upbeat upside of good things that are going to start coming our way because we're in preparation mode. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're in prep mode with somebody that I highly recommend for a number of reasons. But glad that she's on with us today. My partner in crime in the house, as well as in life, Dayna Johnson. Hi, honey.
Hi, sweetie.
There we go.
You're upstairs and I'm downstairs.
Exactly. But hey, through the miracle of Zoom, we're here together. So it's all
yes, absolutely.
So, you're upstairs working. I'm downstairs working usually. And I hear you talking to a lot of practices all over the country about what they should be doing right now to keep their teams busy, keep their teams productive. And so, as much as I love you, I'm going to use you for information right here. And I want you to talk to some of our viewers today about what you're hearing practices are doing to stay productive right now and why they should be doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. What I want you to think about is, think about creating a more reliable patient database. So when you come back, you can create a more happier, a less stressful, more productive day by using your software, because your software is Grand Central Station. It is the place where the entire team works. Everybody relies on the data that comes out of your software. And so what better time than right now than to help create a more reliable patient database?
And I mean, I know the answer to this because I've heard you talk about it so much, but why is that so important right now?
Well, so close your eyes just for a moment, just visualize coming back to a practice, your team coming back to a practice where you can actually generate an accurate report. You can actually create a list of patients that want to come in to see into your practice and create a more reliable database where you don't have all these duplicate records and inactive providers and duplicate insurance plans. I mean, just close your eyes and imagine how that would make you feel. So I know, look at David, he's in a Zen mode right now. I mean, how does it make you feel as a dentist and your team coming back to a cleaner, more accurate, more reliable patient database? I mean, your team would run so much more efficiently. You'd be more productive. You'd be more happy, less stress. And that's what I'm helping teams create right now.
I love that. So, speaking from the dentist position, and I would argue we have one of the most well-oiled machines, anywhere in the country. Having said that, there's so much we could learn about how to better master our database. And if you look at any business in the world, Dayna, what you do. Kevin, you've been in multiple spaces. They would kill to have a database like we do in dentistry. And we just don't maximize the fact that we own all that information for all of our patients. Yeah.
There is so much information that we can gather and that we can grab a hold of that will help our practice be more productive on the back end of this. And I had 2 doctors reach out to me just this morning, and we're doing screen share appointments tomorrow because they want to know. The doctors are taking this by the reins. The doctors are saying, I have time right now. Teach me how to create reports. Teach me how I can make my database better for when we come back. Teach me so then when my team comes back, I can help them because I'll understand it more. I'll understand it better. And then I had an office manager reach out to me a couple weeks ago, and she goes, okay, Dayna, my doctor has allowed, 5 of my core team members to work. Now, what can we be working on? And, we created a game plan, and on the backside of this, they're going to come out a better, more productive team.
So what are one or two reports that you're like, if you want to work as a team, this is one report to really check? What are you suggesting right now?
So I'm thinking of a couple things. Number one is think about anything that you track manually. So are you tracking your key performance indicators manually right now, like on an Excel spreadsheet? Is there a way you can get those into your software? Are you tracking lab cases manually? Are you tracking your ASAP list or your priority list manually, like in a 3-ring binder right now? So think about anything that you're tracking manually. Can you get that into your computer right now while you have some downtime? And then when you come back, you can teach your team how to generate these lists that will help them be more productive. And then the other thing I'm thinking about is any kind of duplicate records that you have in your software right now. I do online assessments like every week to see what kind of, forgive me, garbage that practices have in their software. And I find a lot of duplicate insurance plans, a lot of inactive providers that haven't worked at the practice in years, inactive team members that haven't worked at the office in years. They've been replaced by other team members. So lots of duplicate insurance plans that can get cleaned up, a lot of providers that are no longer working at the practice, and a lot of fee schedules that are no longer relevant, and so there's just all this garbage that we can clean up. I think about it like weeding your garden. And it's just something that you put off, and finally you've got dandelions everywhere. And it's like, okay, I finally need to tackle this. And what better time than now? And so if you can clean up some of this garbage that's in your practice database, patient database, it will streamline systems so much. Your team will be much more efficient. They won't be looking at all those duplicate records. They won't be looking at all those inactive providers that haven't worked at your practice for years. And it'll just make a much more happier, cleaner, efficient practice.
Dayna, if I could come through the screen and hug you, I would do it. I would tell you, dental practices, because I know you're doing it too. I'm going to raise my hand. We're guilty. Again, we're really, really good, but we're still guilty. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So as you look back at all those 3-ring binders or those lab books or whatever it is you're tracking manually, saying, but it works for us.
I know.
Okay, this is your chance to do what we do with our patients, right? We have that team meeting, we all walk through the front door and we look at it as if we're a patient with brand new eyes. This is your chance to look at all of your data with brand new eyes and streamline your systems. I love it. There's only one person on my team that I'm gonna make him watch this with me over again. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you have a manual notebook or an Excel spreadsheet, that information is only accessible to the one person that has it. Yeah. It's not accessible to the rest of your team, and your team is your biggest asset. I mean, as a office administrator for so many years, I held on to a lot of information, and when I was able to actually delegate to the rest of my team to help with these types of tasks, our office just exploded. I mean, it really empowers the rest of the team when you're able to, generate lists on the fly for your team and say, okay, I know you have 45 minutes, you can work on this for me. But if it's in a 3-ring binder and nobody else has access to it, it really brings everybody kind of down, and we want to lift people up when we come back from all of this.
Love it.
Yeah. And again, I hear a lot of your conversations, which is not a bad thing, because I learned a lot from them. But I also know there are a lot of practices right now that are doing this exact thing, that they have realized what maybe their weaknesses were or what their weak spots were. Mm-hmm. And with this downtime, as a team, they're going through and saying, here's what we need to be focusing on. Here's what we can do together. Here's how we can work together. And sometimes it is that transition of information that's so critical that, again, when practices open up, they can hit the ground running.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 to 5 things that you know that you could really tackle right now. And then if you run out, and then if you finish it, if you run out and you need something else, then, tackle one more, tackle one more.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, we have, call it a Ferrari, call it a Lamborghini, and it is in front of us all day long at our practices. And I think if we're honest, most of us probably drive it like a regular car. And
Like
it's not,
A Volkswagen Bug.
yeah. And that's not a horrible car, but it could do a whole lot better if we
I
invest
know.
the time and put premium gas in that bad boy.
Exactly.
I love it. It's so important. Kev, thoughts?
I get to hear this fountain of knowledge every day here. So I know, and again, I know that there are a lot of practices all over the country that when this hit, they were trying to figure out what to do next. And there were a lot that were proactive and said, we can make ourselves better. And so those are the ones that are exciting me about coming back and hearing about coming back, because I can't wait to hear at Christmas or whatever you want to say about these practices that they took steps now. And all of a sudden that second half of the year, my gosh, it was amazing because ...
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think that people are kind of settling in a little bit more. At first, the doctors were really needed to take care of their teams first. Like, what am I going to do with HR, and what am I going to do with my loans? And that was kind of the initial response. I feel like we're kind of settling in a little bit, and now we're looking for projects. Now we're looking for, okay, take a deep breath. Now I've kind of settled into it a little bit. Now what can I do? And now I'm getting flooded with calls. As a software trainer, now I'm getting flooded with calls with doctors really saying, okay, my team's taken care of. Now I have some downtime. What can I do? What can I do to make my practice better? And I know that my software is Grand Central Station. And what can I do? What can you teach me to make my practice better? And it's so fun to have these doctors reaching out. It's just amazing. I'm so happy.
It only took a crisis to get us to pay attention, Dayna. That's it.
I know.
We're not smart. Thank God we have teams. Oh my God. Thank
But
God
I
for
know,
my
but,
team.
but think about now the knowledge that they will have coming back. And, watch out, office managers. Your doctors are going to be flooded with this information. So, make sure that you can keep up with them.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody in the practice is got that mindset as well, that they're staying up to date, they're staying ahead, because you're right. If one person in the practice has been working hard during this and everybody else has been watching Tiger King, that's going to be a problem. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love that the docs are learning it. I would love to see, like Kevin said, everybody on the team, even if you're home, and I'm going to say this out loud, so you guys can't get me through a computer screen. Even if you're technically not working right now, do yourself a favor, make yourself the most valuable player and spend some time learning how to work with this information superhighway that Dayna's talking about right now. And all of us will sprint out of the driveway when we come back. It's
Absolutely.
really important.
Absolutely. Another thing that comes to mind is, the software, like I said, the software is what almost runs everything in the practice. And, even if you come out of this, without a job to come back to, learning software and learning the different softwares, if you can, just bits and pieces of them will really help you to understand kind of what you're going to come back into. No matter what software you're using or not using, they all do basically the same things. And it's really good to tap into those resources that you have available. There are so many resources out there for us to learn. And it's amazing, people that I've never heard from before, like, where can I learn? Where can I learn? And so it's so fun to be able to point people in the right direction.
Awesome stuff.
Take us home, man.
I'm just going to say my last piece is, data drives better decisions. And if we don't have a firm grasp over our data, then a lot of times we're making choices right here and they feel good, but they're really not doing our practice good. So I love this concept. Invest your time today, tomorrow, next week in really digging deep and understanding the software that you've already paid for. You already own this. This isn't a new big expense for your practice. So yeah, maximize it. Kev, you want to wrap us up for the day?
Like I said, I'm a better person because of that lady upstairs, and I'm glad that she was able to hang out with us today. So Dayna, thanks for the time and your thoughts.
Thank you. Just think about, Kevin hears me say this all the time, numbers tell a story, and data, just like David said, data drives these decisions and drives our practice. And so the more accurate, the more reliable that your data is and your numbers are, the better your practice will be able to perform, the better your team will be able to make those decisions in your practice. And it's just going to really empower the team if we have better data. So spend the time right now getting the garbage out of your software and cleaning it up.
There you go. Weed that garden. I know that's
the garden.
We're probably going to be doing here soon, or she will. I'll be supervising. So, but
those are
you're a good supervisor.
It's not yet. I'm a good one at that. So, Anyway, thanks to everybody for joining us. Appreciate Dayna being on, and we'll be back soon with another video with another expert to help your practice do better once this all passes.